You closed the book feeling smart. By breakfast, most of it was gone. You watched a whole documentary last night. Try to explain it now, out loud, in one clean sentence. You can't. And you tell yourself the same quiet story. Maybe you're just not one of the smart ones. Here's the twist your brain has been waiting for you to hear. You are not stuck with the mind you woke up with today. Smarter is not a personality trait. It's a set of small, boring habits done on purpose. 6 of them, to be exact. By the end of this video, you'll know the 6 simple habits that actually make you noticeably smarter, sharper thinking, better memory, faster learning. No pills, no hacks, no fake genius claims. Just the real levers your brain quietly responds to. Let's start with the one nobody wants to hear first, because it silently runs everything else. The first habit is protecting your sleep like it's part of your intelligence. Because it literally is. While you sleep, your brain is not off. It is running a nightly cleanup crew, sorting today's information and locking the important parts into long-term memory. Skip that, and you basically hit delete on half of what you learned that day. That's why an all-nighter feels productive, then leaves your head foggy for 2 full days. You didn't just lose rest, you lost the file-saving stage your memory depends on. Think of sleep like the save button on a document you spent hours writing. Skip the save, and it doesn't matter how brilliant the work was. So the habit is simple. Guard a consistent sleep window, most nights, like it truly matters. Same rough bedtime, same rough wake time, even on weekends when you can manage it. Your brain rewards routine with cleaner memory, steadier mood, and faster recall the next day. You'll notice it in tiny ways. First words come quicker, names stick, focus lasts longer. That's not magic. That's a rested brain finally doing the job it was built for. If sleep is the one thing you fix this month, everything else on this list gets easier. Habit 2 is where a lot of smart people accidentally sabotage themselves without realizing it. Move your body, on purpose, most days of the week. Not to look a certain way, to think a certain way. When you move, your heart pushes more oxygen and fuel to your brain. Your brain reads that signal as, "We're alive. We're using this thing, keep it sharp." Movement also releases chemicals that support attention, mood, and the growth of new brain connections. You don't need a gym, a fancy plan, or a full hour. A brisk 20-minute walk counts. Taking the stairs counts. A short bike ride, a dance break, chasing your kid around the yard, it all counts. The trick is frequency, not intensity. A little movement most days beats one heroic workout on Sunday and nothing the rest of the week. And here's the part people love most. Your best ideas often show up during the walk, not at the desk. That's not a coincidence, and it's not luck. Movement loosens up thinking the same way it loosens up your body. If you're stuck on a problem, stop grinding and go move for 15 minutes. You'll often come back with the answer already half-formed in your head. Habit 3 is the one that feels the most unfair because it looks like doing nothing. Feed your brain the right fuel, most of the time. Your brain is roughly 2% of your body weight, but it uses about 20% of your energy. Whatever you eat and drink, your brain is running on it in real time. Steady blood sugar means steady focus. Wild spikes and crashes mean brain fog, irritability, and that 3 p.m. wall you keep hitting like clockwork. The habit isn't a strict diet or a rulebook. It's a pattern you can actually keep. Real food, most of the time. Things with protein, some healthy fats, vegetables, and water you actually drink through the day. Dehydration alone can quietly tank your focus and memory before you even notice you're thirsty. Try this small test tomorrow morning. Drink a full glass of water first thing and pair your breakfast with some protein instead of beer sugar. Then notice how your mid-morning feels compared to a normal day. Most people are surprised by how much clearer their head is by 10 a.m. You are not aiming for perfection here, and you're not swearing off treats. You are aiming for a brain that isn't constantly fighting its own fuel supply. Feed it steady, and it will pay you back with steady thinking. Habit 4 is where the real learning gains actually hide. Learn actively, not passively. Here's what most people do without thinking. They reread their notes. They highlight the same page in 3 different colors. They watch a video, nod along, and move on. It feels like learning. It isn't. Your brain does not get stronger from seeing information again. It gets stronger from pulling information out. That's called retrieval, and it's the real workout for your memory. So flip the habit on its head. After you read something, close the book and try to explain it out loud, in your own words, like you're teaching a friend who's never heard it before. After a video, pause and ask yourself, what were the 3 main ideas here? After a meeting, take 60 seconds to write down what you actually took away without peeking at your notes. Every time you pull the answer out from inside your head, you're strengthening the wiring for it. Every time you just reread, you're tricking yourself into feeling productive. Struggling a little to remember is not failure. It's the exact moment your brain is upgrading itself. If it feels too easy, you're not learning, you're just visiting the material. Get comfortable with that tiny, awkward pause of, wait, how did that go again? That pause is where the smarter version of you is being built. Habit 5 is the one that quietly separates fast learners from everyone else in the room. Space your learning out instead of cramming it all in one night. Your brain is not a bucket you can pour information into in one sitting. It's more like a muscle that responds to repeated, spaced signals over time. When you learn something once and never revisit it, your brain quietly assumes it wasn't important. When you come back to it a day later, a few days later, then a week later, your brain flags it as, this keeps mattering, keep it. That's how something moves from short-term memory into long-term memory that actually stays for good. The habit is simple, and it saves you hours in the long run. Instead of one long study session, break it into shorter reviews across several days. 15 focus minutes today, 10 tomorrow, 10 again in 3 days easily beats 2 panicked hours the night before. You can use flashcards, a notes app, or just a plain notebook with a couple of key questions. The tool doesn't matter as much as the pattern behind it. Little, often, spread out. That's the exact rhythm memory was designed for. Cramming might get you through a test, but spaced review is what makes the knowledge yours a year later. Habit 6 ties every other habit together, and most people never even try it once. Give your brain a real focus, in real quiet at least once a day. Your brain is not built to think in 20 open tabs at the same time. Every notification, every quick check of your phone, every just one more scroll is a tiny tax on your attention. Do that all day and your thinking gets shallow without you noticing. You feel busy, but you finish the day unable to clearly remember what you actually did. The habit is a daily focus block. One period each day where it's just you and one thing. Phone in another room, tabs closed, notifications off, timer on the desk. Start smaller than you think you need to. 25 minutes is plenty. You are not trying to grind for 4 straight hours. You are training your brain to hold attention on one thing without flinching away. That skill quietly compounds week after week. Over a few weeks, you'll notice you can read longer, follow harder ideas, and think through problems instead of just reacting to them. And that's what people usually mean when they say someone seems sharp or quick. They're not smarter by birth. They're just protected from constant interruption long enough to actually think. Guard that quiet window like it's a meeting with the most important person in your life. In a way, it is. Now here's the piece almost nobody tells you about these 6 habits. None of them work in isolation, and all of them quietly stack on each other. Sleep makes your focus block possible. Your focus block makes active learning possible. Active learning plus spaced review is what turns information into real, usable knowledge. Movement and steady fuel keep the whole system online and running clean. Take any one of them out, and the rest start to wobble. Put them all in place, and the effect feels bigger than the sum of the parts. But you do not need to start all 6 on Monday morning. That's how people burn out and quit by Friday afternoon. Pick one this week. Just one. Maybe it's a consistent bedtime, or a daily 20-minute walk, or one focus block right after lunch. Do it small enough that it feels almost too easy to skip. That's the whole point. Easy habits are the ones that actually survive real life. Once it's boringly automatic, add the next one. Then the next. Give it a few weeks of steady, unglamorous practice, and you will feel the shift. Words come faster. Names stick. You follow long conversations without drifting off halfway through. You remember what you read yesterday and even what you read last week. You catch yourself thinking clearly in moments where you used to feel foggy or lost. That's not a new personality you're wearing. That's the same brain you always had, finally getting what it needed all along. And here's the honest truth about being smarter. It was never really about being born with more. It was about giving your brain the conditions it quietly asks for every single day. Sleep it can trust. A body that moves. Fuel that's steady. Learning that pulls information out instead of just pouring it in. Repetition spread thoughtfully over time. Focus without 100 interruptions pulling at your sleeve. Do that, and your brain will meet you halfway and then some. You will not notice the change on day one. You'll notice it in the small moments a few weeks in, when someone says something and you just get it faster than you used to. That's the compounding. That's what smarter actually looks like from the inside. Not fireworks. Just a quieter, sharper, more reliable version of the mind you already have. If any of this hit home, do me one small favor before you go. Subscribe to Bodhi Brain so the next video finds you automatically when it drops. Like this one so more people who feel stuck with their memory and focus get to see it too. And drop a comment with the one habit you're going to start with this week. I actually read them. Your brain is already listening. Now it's your move.